Hey everyone, here we are with another update on the Roaring Kitty $20 call 6/21/2024 update. Now, we've written about the current GameStop saga a couple of times, and we were the first to start directly tracking Roaring Kitty's position in the $20 call expiring on June 21st, 2024. Since then, all eyes have been on the position and on Reddit looking for signs of an update from Roaring Kitty on his positions. We first noted significant bid-side transactions on June 12th, 2024. On the morning of the 12th, we saw roughly 2,000 contracts transact at the bid, but the real size came later on in the day. During the hour leading into market close on the 12th, we saw a series of sizable bid-side activity. Three sets of orders were particularly interesting, with the first coming in between 3:30 and 3:40 Eastern Time, with 6,479 contracts transacting at the bid and another 8,915 with mid-fills. 10 minutes later, another 15,672 contracts at the bid, followed by the largest volume of the day 10 minutes later, with 23,034 contracts transacted at the bid. The total volume on the day on June 12th came in at 93,266 contracts, with 64% of that volume transacting at the bid. Now, given that this marked the largest volume on that contract since Roaring Kitty posted his position and was tracked and disclosed, it led to many disagreements on Twitter, with some even speculating that it wasn't him. However, the data suggested that it was indeed Roaring Kitty trimming his position. On the morning of June 13th, the open interest of the $20 call dropped considerably by 58,145 contracts. Considering we know that Roaring Kitty was the only individual known to have a position large enough for that much open interest to come off, logic pointed to a positional exit. Now that the open interest had dropped below 120,000 contracts, we could deduce that since Roaring Kitty owned 120,000 contracts, he did indeed close some of his position. On June 13th, the GME $20 call for 6/21/24 saw more high-volume activity. 48,787 contracts transacted intraday, with 56% of those coming in at the bid. Given the sizing and the known large position, this was most likely Roaring Kitty trimming more contracts. It wasn't until after market close on June 13th that we got a position update from Roaring Kitty. On the night of June 13th, Roaring Kitty posted an update on his GameStop position to Superstock subreddit. As the data suggested, Roaring Kitty had sold all 120,000 of his $20 calls, but he had another update. He had added 4,001,000 shares of GameStop. This led to speculation on whether or not he exercised some of his contracts, so let's take a look at that possibility here. The top half of this image is from Roaring Kitty's prior position update. His cost basis on 5 million shares of GameStop sat at $21.27 per share. In the updated version, we see that his average cost had risen to $23.41 per share. Now, given the cost basis of his contracts, and the fact that we're not sure whether or not E-Trade includes the cost of contracts in the average when exercising, it's not entirely clear whether or not he did exercise some of these contracts, but it is possible. Since he had contracts of the $20 call at a cost basis of $5.67 per contract, it's possible that the average share price of his newly acquired 4,001,000 shares came from exercising some of the contracts. This is because he would pay $20 per share plus the cost of the contracts, which would be $567 for every 100 shares, coming out to $25.67 per share. However, while it's possible he exercised some of those contracts, we do know that the vast majority, at least, of his 120,000 contracts were sold to close, And given the movement Roaring Kitty seems to represent, it's unlikely that he exercised, and more likely that he sold all of his contracts and bought shares at market price.